Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for checking me out today. So I'm continuing with my Oscar coverage for 2019, where I'm watching and reviewing each film that's nominated in the Best Picture category. Today I'll be talking about the film A Star is Born. Now, this movie is based on a 1976 remake. The movie back then starred Barbara Streisand. This movie today stars Bradley Cooper as Jackson Maine. Jackson Maine is a country music singer. He's very successful. He's out on tour at the time of this movie. He has it all. He has the money, he has the fame, the great career, but he also has a very terrible drinking problem. And I don't mean drinking till you get buzzed. I mean slovenly drunk, passing out drinking problem. This movie also stars Lady Gaga as Allie. Now, Allie is a waitress, but she's sort of waiting on her big break and big chance to become a singer. She writes great songs. She has the ability to sing, of course, but she just hasn't made the right connections, or, the circumstances hasn't worked out for her to become the great singing sensation that she is. This movie also has a couple of guest appearances. Andrew Dice Clay and Dave Chappelle, two comedians, actually give great serious performances in here, so I thought they were worth a shout out. So I guess the moral of this movie is, if one star is born, another has to die. And that's basically the whole story of this movie. Now, I'm going to be straight up with everybody out there. If you don't like musicals or movies that have a lot of musical numbers in them, then this may not be the movie for you, because there's about, I don't know, several, 7, 8, 9, 10 songs in here where the movie stops and they're going through a whole song number. So if you don't like that, you may not like this movie. So the main plot of this movie is following the rise of Allie as her star is born, and also following the decline of Jackson Maine as the alcohol pretty much takes over his life. We start this movie off with Jackson completing a concert, and the first place he goes to is a bar. Now, while in this bar, by happenstance or just chance or fate, he actually gets to see Allie perform. And he meets her backstage, they talk, and he lets her know she has tremendous amount of talent. She also lets him know that she's a songwriter, and she sings for him a couple of the songs that she wrote. So yeah, they hit it off great. He even invites her to his next concert, which she does come out to, and that's when he asks her to come up on stage and they sing together. Now, when she came up and sang on stage, everybody loved her. The whole crowd went crazy. It blew up on YouTube. I mean, it turned into an immediate over-the-night sensation. Well, you start bringing her up on stage more and more and more, and over time, she started becoming a little famous. The fans start cheering her name, and then a record label come along. They offered her a deal and said, we're gonna let you do your own thing, go on your own tour. Now, while she's preparing to go out on her tour and make her own album, we switch back to Jackson, who no longer is going on any tours, where the alcohol is completely just taking over his life, to where anytime they're out in public or maybe they're at a party, he's pretty much flat out drunk, passing out, falling all over the place, embarrassing everybody. Case in point, when Allie finally released her first album and got the success she had waited her whole life for, she goes to win her Grammy Award, her first Grammy Award for Best New Artist. Well, Jackson takes this drunk ass up on stage with her, and he's pretty much stumbling all over the place and ends up passing out right there while she's doing her acceptance speech. At the Grammys, in front of the world, in front of all those other entertainers watching, he passes out drunk in front of everybody. So yeah, it got pretty bad. So he went to rehab, and he's trying to deal with his alcoholic issues, and she's still out there going on her tour. So you see what I'm saying? She's rising and he's falling. At the end, Jackson does get out of rehab. He does make a full recovery and just really becomes that person that we saw at the beginning of the movie, that likable guy. He wasn't drinking no more. He wasn't doing anything but preparing to go back on tour and live his life. But see, one bad thing happened to Jackson. Allie's agent came over and basically tore him to shreds and told him, we know you're going to go back to the alcohol. We know you're not going to change. He said all this horrible stuff to Jackson. And he pretty much put Jackson, who was at a fragile state of mind, in an even worse state of mind. So later on that night, after Allie left to go do her show, Jackson committed suicide, which was terrible. I didn't want to see that. But in all honesty, Jackson kind of made it hard to root for him, just with all the chances he was getting over and over and over, and the fact that he has everything in life. He has money, fame, he has the woman. He has the whole career. He has it all, but he still is not happy. So in that sense, it makes it hard to cheer for a guy like that or root for him. But I don't want to see nobody kill themselves, so you end up feeling bad for Allie that she's left alone like that. All in all, I give this movie about a 7 out of 10. I'm not really one for the musicals. I don't like all those musical numbers and stuff like that. But I took into account that that was part of the movie and I accepted it and I tried to just take it all in. But I still found myself being annoyed by them because there was so many. Acting now, I feel like for Lady Gaga to have this be her debut as an actress, I feel like she did an amazing job. If you people don't know how hard it is to be an actor or actress and to have this be your first role, it's crazy. So the fact that Lady Gaga did as great as she did to where she's nominated for an Oscar herself, it just shows you that she came and she knocked this out of the park, and I want to give her all the credit and respect for doing that. Now, as far as Bradley Cooper and his directorial debut, I think he did perfectly fine. Now, I think you can take any other director and put them in that director chair and get the same end result because it's a competent movie that flows and that makes sense. So in that sense, I don't think he did nothing special. But I do think it's easy to get in there and make mistakes not knowing what you're doing. And so if you want to just give him credit for steering the ship, so to speak, that was it, put it in cruise control, fine. But I think I would like to give him credit for his first attempt at directing. I think he did a perfectly fine job. Was it special? Was it amazing? No, but it was perfectly fine for the movie and it flowed and I didn't see no overwhelming mistakes or anything like that. All in all, I would say this movie is pretty damn good. It's not like great. I didn't find myself on the edge of my seat, like waiting for the next scene or anything like that. I didn't really buy into the drama or anything. But again, I think the musical numbers may have taken me out of the movie just with how annoying they were. But that may be different for you. But for me, I just found it to be like, hey, get to the acting, get to the, I think they did a better balance of that with Bohemian Rhapsody. And they didn't have like the whole songs in there. This movie is over 2 hours because they have the whole songs in the movie, and I think that bothered me a little bit too much. But anyway, y'all, that's just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. That's much appreciated. And I'll catch your ass out there in this universe. Peace.
I never meet the ground, crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now.
Can I tell you a secret?